Sunlight begins to fade now, and I feel like I'm losing time, but I don't know how I'm here. The sunlight has turned to gray, and I feel like I'm losing love again. I don't know how I'm here. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel it somewhere you're looking down. I could feel your heartbeat. I could feel it somewhere you're looking down. 'Cause it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna breathe. And it's you I'm loving, and it's you that I wanna need.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Sim Racers World TV. Whether you be watching on Facebook or on YouTube, and welcome to the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 series from Donington Park. We're here for the fourth round of the championship in this fantastic series. My name is Chaz Draycott, and what you're listening to right now is a man that is in love with a racing format. Because not only have these guys got fantastic open wheel action from these Formula 3 cars, where the racing has been so close in a formula that usually sees people be very careful and avoid contact, you've had some incredible racing thrown in by the whole heat racing format they've got. And tonight is going to be no different around this wonderful British circuit. We're going to look at the championship though, because things are very interesting here. Now there's three classes in the championship now, so we're going to run through them bit by bit. They are, in reverse order, Academy as the lowest class, Consistency as the middle one, and Precision as the top. This is the Academy class that you can see before you here. Chris Roberts leading that one on 137 points to Greg Parmenter's 128, with Carn Newen in third place with 104 points. Daniele Guidici is fourth with 82, just 1 point ahead of Craig Jones, who's got 2 points on Luke Wobbs, 2 points on Daniel Merchant, and then Paul Clist is eighth. So it's very close in that class. Then in the Consistency class, which is the middle class as such, Sebastian Hawkins leads the way with quite a comfortable margin over Louis Correa with 187 points. Victor Centelles is third with 181 points. Then you have Ben White with 160 and Sebastian Heberer with 158. And as you can see in that one, it's close all the way down. And the top class in the series then, Precision. Then you see Adrian Falcon still top of the pile, 350 points to Bart Daleman's 336. Very close between them. Tied for third place, Brian Loynes and Richard Nicholson? I'm sorry, Ross Nicholson, 297. Kevin Zemstra and his teammate Tom Walstra were fiercely forward, the two Dutchmen in 5th and 6th there, 253 and 241 between them. Jack Crawford, unfortunately, at the bottom of the pile in that championship, and he's been very quick to watch. So we've got lone qualifying going on at the moment, and it's Bart Daleman who is currently fastest for Sim Racers World Esports, doing a great job at the moment. Is Bart. Adrian Falcon, championship leader, is second. Or, well, never mind, Christophe Herbigno, welcome back, sunshine. Top of the pile he goes this time. Brian Loynes is fourth at the moment. There's been a bit of a move around at Sim Stickers Racing. Some of the guys swapping around a little bit from the Sim Stickers Academy. Daniele Guidici at the moment has just gone off screen, is actually the top Academy driver at the moment. In the Consistency class, Ben Hoffman is top. Don't forget, the odd positions go into one heat, and then the drivers in the even positions, so 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th and so on, go into the second heat. The top 8 from each heat go through to the final, and then the consolation race is everyone that didn't go through in their first heats, and the top 8 from that go through. The grid, again, determined from that one by their positions in their heat. So whether they were in the odd-numbered heat, if you basically finish 9th in the odd-numbered heat and don't make it through to the final, then you'll be on pole position for the consolation race. Kevin Zemstra there just going into 7th. The classes, as you can see then, at the top of your screen: Precision, Consistency and Academy, blue, green and yellow, and they are also visible on the left-hand side of your screen. There's a massive gap though between Daniele Guidici, as you can see there, in 9th place, and then Khan Newen is all the way down there in the order with all the rest of the Academy drivers behind him. So Daniele Guidici doing everything right at the moment when it comes to that. But the session has now finished, and what we're going to be given here is a grid for the first race of the night. So Adrian Falcon, pole position from Bart Daleman and Brian Loynes. Then Kevin Zemstra 4th with Daniele Guidici, we just mentioned there, in 5th. Seb Heberer with Tim Rutten and Paul Godden just behind him. Then we have Victor Bolea Centelles, Ewan Marshall I should say, Louis Correa and Henning Stuhlinger on row 6. Behind them is Khan Newen, Luke Wubbs, Paul Clist and Matthew Forrest, with Lee Woodburn, Matisse Groen rounding out the 18-car field in this first heat then. So another exciting night of racing ahead of us here then at the beautiful Donington Park. Can't wait for this one, really cannot wait. The two drivers we're waiting for are first and last on the grid in this one. So once they take to the grid, we will be ready to go. Adrian Falcon pops into place. There he is, championship leader. And here we go then to the first heat of the night in the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series is away. And it's a very good start from the poleman, but he feels the need to go defensive against Bart Daleman into turn 1 then. Red gate for the first time. Let's have a look down the order. Daniele Guidici there in the grey and blue Abruzzi sports car on the inside. Khan Newen is off the circuit on the inside. He's all over the grass, but he's managed to keep it together. Adrian Falcon and Bart Daleman fighting very closely there, with Brian Loynes just behind as they go through the old hairpin. They're 4 wide just behind. That's Louis Correa, and off goes Ewan Marshall. We'd have to have a look back. I'm not sure whether Ewan squeezed him or not, but that's not the way he wanted this to start. Matisse Groen has not taken to the start of the race. Seb Heberer is off. He's spun on the exit of McLean's. They're dropping like flies here. Daniele Guidici has only got one consistency driver ahead of him. And then it's the 4 precision drivers at the front. But here is the leader of them all, Adrian Falcon, looking back then at Bart Daleman. Look how close Bart is getting on the brakes there. Oh, Luke Wubbs has lost some places. He's around. Oh, what's happened to Luke? More importantly, what happened to Ewan? Let's go have a look back at this first lap then. So, Ewan on the outside. Khan down the inside. Yeah, Ewan just doesn't leave the room, I'm afraid. And then we ought to go and look a bit further up then what happened in the mid-pack here. Seb Heberer just went off on his own, I think. Let's have a look. Yeah, just on the throttle a bit too quickly. Oh, we've had Daniele Guidici and Matt Forrest have gone off. I want to find out quickly what happened to Luke Wubbs. Oh, he's just on the throttle a bit too early. Matthew Forrest and Daniele. Oh, Daniele Guidici's gone straight on. And he's going to put it in the barrier, and whether it's properly broken the car or not, I'm not sure. He's trying to reverse it, but no, that is the end of this race for Daniele Guidici, I'm afraid. Still close at the front, though. Bart Daleman all over the back of Adrian Falcon, race leader. So slow through that hairpin. You've got to be very careful on the throttle as well on the way back up the hill. At the final hairpin to go then across the line once more. 10 laps around here will go very quickly in a Formula 3 car. We're on to lap 3 already. Ewan Marshall is trying to pass Luke Wobbs. Ewan Marshall, as you can see on the left, in the precision class. Down the inside he goes, and there was a lot of precision about that. Nice move as he tries to climb back up the order. A bit further up, Louis Correa and Victor Balea-Centelles are close together. This is Victor for Team Iridium. Don't forget the top 8 go through, so these guys just inside that top 8 at the moment. It's Paul Godden that is in the box seat, but he's got quite a gap back to Matthew Forrest in the virtual racing compound machine, so he doesn't need to worry too much yet. But Ewan Marshall is closing on Paul Clist. He's going to be the one to watch through this race as he makes his way back up through the field. What can Paul do about defending? Ewan in the very pretty Meraki racing machine. Any aviation nerds will know that it looks similar to the old Britannia colour scheme from the 90s. Well, that's only if they agree with me anyway. Henning Stuhlinger had an issue, by the way. Oh, a big issue. Let's have a look. This was a bit further on. Turns left. Oh, clips the grass, just misses. Oh, that was Daniele Guidici, so that's probably what caused his damage. Yeah, he then went straight on after that, so that little bit of contact is what caused that issue. Like I've said, the top 8 go through in this race, so you need to keep an eye on them. There's Daniele Guidici just coming out the pit lane now. He's just getting out of everyone's way. Oh, he's going to be on the curb where people usually run onto there. That's not going to help anybody. Ewan Marshall, though, has got past Paul Clist and now opened up the gap. So he's now got 5 seconds to Sebastian Herberet in front of him. Big gap to close up there. Look at this. As they just emerge over the hill, this is Victor Centelles with Louis Correa right behind. Louis, of course, racing in the Sunday Drivers MX5 Cup that we cover here on Sim Racers World TV. Looking down the inside is Paul Godden. He thinks better of it. Oh, as across the chicane goes Louis Correa. He's a bit late on the brakes, and that's going to give him a slowdown. Paul Godden now in a bit more of a safe position when it comes to making it through. Luke Wobbs, by the way, is close to the back of Paul Clist. He's another one that is making his way back up the order. Adrian Falcon, fastest lap of the race. Luke Wobbs looks down the inside. It's the 222 against the 211. The car numbers have changed, by the way. Oh, Paul Godden has binned it at the hairpin. He's dropped out of the top 8. And at this rate, he's not going through to the final. Gets back on with it, but he's down in 11th. I was going to say that the car numbers have changed. I'll give you the car numbers on the left-hand side. Basically dependent on class. So if it's 3 digits and begins with a 1, they're in the middle class. And if it begins with a 2, or it's in the 200s, I should say, they're in the academy class. Race leader, though, still under pressure here. Adrian Falcon's not got this his own way at the moment. Now I thought the comments on YouTube were not refreshing. Apologies, everyone. I've not seen any of your comments yet, but welcome, everyone. Welcome. Oh, if the nationalities haven't updated, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not quite sure why. I've just updated them earlier. Sorry about that, boys. I can sort that right now for you, though. We'll get that done. I did change them earlier, but I had to reload the project file where it was all stored. And I hadn't saved it before I'd done that because I'm an absolute genius. But you continue watching this lovely battle, and I'll change all these nationalities back. Silly Chaz, eh? Silly Chaz. Yeah, it hadn't changed. I did the hometown ones, but not the not the other nationalities. You have to do 2 of them now for some reason on the SDK software. There you go. This should work now. Ready? Bart is now Belgian, and Adrian Falcon is now not a British. Oh, careful! British citizen. Let's get it right, shall we? Let's get it right. Are you lot talking about network providers? Yes, thank you for pointing out the flags, by the way, guys. Much appreciated. At the moment, Khan Nguyen is doing a good job at leading the academy class here. It was looking like Daniele Guidici was the one to keep an eye on. I was on very, very thin ice there. And to be honest, Louis, with the weight I've put on in lockdown, I really don't want to be on thin ice, to be fair. It'll have to be thicker than usual. But this is Khan Nguyen. At the moment, doing a fine job. 9th place overall. Just ahead, though, is Matt Forrest, and that is the last place that gets through into the final, as things stand. I'm glad, Ollie. I'm glad I'm not the only one, mate. I'm glad I'm not the only one. That's why I grew a beard. It hides it, but anyone that follows me on social media will have seen recently that the masks that I've been wearing for the whole COVID thing do not really cover my chins. Battle for the lead, though, is side by side at the moment. And Adrian Falcon, now he's left the UK and thought, oh, right, well, Brexit's really bad, isn't it, boys? Bart Daleman's gone down the inside. And through he goes. Flero in the chat. I don't know what you're saying. I can't understand it, but good to see you, mate. This is feisty from Adrian Falcon and Bart Daleman. Will go on my favourite camera of all, the chopper cam. Onto the brakes. Bart tries to carry the speed around the outside, and you know what? He nearly gets it done. Lee Woodburn and Paul Clist have had a crash further down the field. That sounds like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Let's have a look. Oh, Lee just goes into the back of him. They both almost stop going into the chicane. Maybe Lee just caught out by how much he was braking there. Bart is warm. He is warm, definitely. Oh, I know, Flero. Don't you worry, mate. I hope you're well, anyway. Good to see you, though, Mr. Evanyo. Looking forward to how you get on tonight, mate. I'm not chubby. I'm big bone. Just ahead of Seb Heberu, we're looking at now. Khan Nguyen is having a right good scrap. Lee Woodburn's had another little moment there. Khan Nguyen all over the back of Matt Forrest. Matthew holding on to the last place that's going to progress at the moment. Here's Khan Nguyen. What do you mean misreading, Kev? Oh, Khan Nguyen's gone off. Straight on at the chicane. It's not a very good opportunity for an overtaking manoeuvre around there. You've got to be very committed. Oh, Lee Woodburn's off and in the wall. Not the start that he wanted to his evening. Ewan Marshall has now taken advantage of Khan Nguyen's mistake. And we're on to lap 9 of 10 already in this heat. This is going very fast. But through into 8th place. Well, he's not quite done it yet. Or has he? Sebastian Heberer goes through. Forrest turns in. Oh, that was a very delayed bit of contact, wasn't it? Oh, no. Paul Godden again drops it just as he was on the outer fringes of that top 8. Drops it. And this is the battle for the final position to go through. Ewan Marshall, what a comeback this has been. Fantastic drive at the moment. This is 9th and 10th. So the car just at the top of your shot there with 1 lap to go is the one that he needs to get past. Short shifting there by Ewan Marshall. Into Coppice. Oh, what's happened there? Has he been given a slowdown? Must have been, yeah. That's a real shame. That's the sound of a bloke talking to himself. Oh, Luke Wobbs is going to need a talking to himself after that. Luke Wobbs properly in the wall. Let's have a quick look at what he did here. Was he clipped the grass on the way in? Oh, has he clipped the grass on the way out? Oh, he corrects it. That's going to hurt. Ready? Pop. Pop goes the weasel, it seems. Bart Daleman, though. He's leading the way. I'm about to wet my pants for the second heat, Chaz. Well, thanks. Thank you for the update, Hans Polmans. Much appreciated. And yes, I'm not called Chad, but that's fine because the first letter of my surname is a D. So, Chaz Draycott. We'll go with that. Well, I'm glad, Hans. It's always good to share, mate. But this is a great drive by Bart Daleman at the moment. He'll be very happy to start his evening with a race win. There's a commentator's curse for you. Chaz Draycott. Chaz Draycott. Love it. Well, Bart Daleman is going to be loving it right now. Onto the brakes, into the hairpin. I realised as well, when I moved my microphone then, it sounded like a burp, didn't it? But Bart Daleman takes the first heat of the night. Oh, it's all fun and games. Adrian Falcon second, Brian Loynes rounds out the podium, Kevin Zemstra in fourth. Those two having a very straightforward race. Tim Rutten is just about going to be the first consistency driver across the line. Victor Centelles is going to be the second one, I hope. He's just going to beat Louis Correa across the line there. Those two will go through, and Sebastian Heberer grabs himself a place in the final, and Matt Forrest, it seems, will start the Consolation race from pole position for Virtual Racing Compound. Ewan Marshall will start that in P3 in car 3. But Bart Daleman is through, and so too is Adrian Falcon and Brian Loynes. Great persistence there from the guys. Very strong stuff. And they will be more than pleased with how that one went. And here we go then for the second heat. And it's a familiar one on pole position. Christophe Herbignaud, Tom Wolster alongside him. Ross Nicholson and Ben Hoffman make up row 2. Then it's Dries van den Rijt, James Forsyth, Holger Meifer and John Tusting. Then we have Ben White and Wayne Palmer. Stephen Grabowski according to the overlay. Hans Polmans in 12th. He's going to be surely going up the order from there. Then it's Chris Roberts, Phil Reagan, Danny Fenning, Taylor Lane and Greg Parmenter. So we look at the field then. There is your pole sitter, Christophe Herbignaud. And it seems that I still need to update some of the driver names in this, of course. But it's not the time for that now, because Heat 2 of the evening here at Donington Park in the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 Series is away. And Tom Wolster instantly going on the defensive from Ross Nicholson. Goes over to the right-hand side, but Ross has got the overlap. So Tom goes back wide to utilise all of the circuit. Nicholson down the inside, goes up to second place. Great start from Ross Nicholson. It seems here at Donington that third place on the grid is very much favoured here on iRacing. And he makes good use of it. Down to the old hairpin they go. Oh, never mind Wolster, he's had a bad start. Oh, in the background, that's a big accident. Grabowski and Chris Roberts of the Virtual Racing Compound are off. It looks like Taylor Lane hasn't started this race. Let's have a look what happened here. Oh, Stephen got held up and then Chris Roberts just straight into the back of him. That was a big one. But out in front, Christophe Herbignaud leading the way. Wow, Hans Polman's got a real fan club, hasn't he? Here's Ben Hoffman with Tusting, Meifer and Wolster behind him. Wolster trying to recover now after that poor start. He's still going through at this rate though, but don't forget these positions inside the top 8 determine your spot on the grid for the feature race. This is James Forsyth going into that top 8, just trying to get past Wayne Palmer of Sim Stickers around the outside, or it looks like Holger Meifer has just outbraked himself a bit there. He's dropped down to 7th place. Closest cars on track though are Dries van den Rijt and Ben Hoffman. Dries at the moment in 3rd place. There's a lot of guys in the YouTube chat, and including myself, that are big fans of Dries. He's doing fine at the moment. He's got a big queue of guys waiting behind him to gain a place and get ever safer within that top 8 positions. Some brilliant driving at the moment by these guys. So close all the way up and down the field. Looks like Van den Rijt's done a good job to clear them there. Holger Meifert, he's trying to get past John Tusting, the very pretty Quantum Racing car, side by side into the chicane. That's not going to work there. John holds on to this. Oh, never mind. No, he doesn't. John holds on to absolutely nothing there. Beautiful car. So we've got time to admire it while John gets back on with it, but down to 14th. He will not be happy with that. Phil Regan and Greg Parmenter were close together. Oh, I think it's always it's always the year one boys, isn't it? Phil Regan and Paul Clist. They do like getting their elbows out. Let's have another look at what happened there then. So Greg's on the inside. Oh, Phil just doesn't give him room, I'm afraid. Phil just does not give him the room on the inside. Here's the battle for third though, and Walstra is on a mission here. He's waltzing forward, down the inside into the old hairpin, and through he goes. And the Dutchman is further up. As someone just said in the chat, you ain't much if you ain't Dutch. Kevin saying that one. He's got Ben Hoffman right behind at the moment, who is the highest placed consistency driver in this field. Oh, Dries van den Rijn. Oh, Dries, no. Dries has dropped it. Phil Regan again. What was I saying about year one? John Tusting getting involved this time. What's happened here, boys? Oh, wow. I don't know where Phil was going there. I think he just lost it gradually. We'll have another look and go on board with him. Yeah, the back end just got away. And unfortunately, John Tusting, wrong place, wrong time, mate. But now, Dries van den Rijn is outside of the top 8, and he's down in 10th position. It gives them a lot of airtime. They might throw flip-flops at me, says Louis Anker. Wow. Well, you said it, not me. I really do get on with Graham Sesford of year one. Love the bloke. Top guy. Ben Hoffman, while I say that, spins the year one racing Alpha Live car. He's still in 8th place though, so he's still going through, but Hans Polmans has got into the top 8. Most places gained in the race so far. Same with Greg Parmenter. They've gained 5 places each in this one, so doing a smashing job. And he's actually closing in a little bit on Wayne Palmer just ahead. The gap is under a second between the two of them. There is Wayne just at the top of his shot. Yeah, Sebastian, I got the names wrong. Not the names, sorry, the flags. The flags were just slightly out of kilter. Because when I'd changed all the info for this week, I hadn't changed the actual nationalities over. And I sorted it by name rather than iRating, so... rather than iRacing ID, I should say. Great to ride on board with these Formula 3 cars though. Hans Polman's now into the top 8. Doing fine at the moment. Chris Roberts sat in the pit lane. Let's have a look at what happened here. Oh, a bit of gravel, and that is going to be a hit into the barriers for Chris Roberts, and that's going to be the end of his race. Wayne Palmer, 6th position at the moment. Ollie Slade saying Tom and Chris Ebenio so close on pace, and they really are. 121.58 last time round for Tom Walstra. He did a purple sector 4. 121.54 for this man, Christophe Ebenio. Christophe didn't have things his own way at the start of the season, I tell you that. Stephen Grabowski's had an issue. Oh, spins it in the chicane. Gives us a chance to admire another very pretty livery. This is Wayne Palmer in a bit of a safe gap at the moment. Just behind him there is Hans Polmans in 7th. He's going to be pleased to be going through to the final as things stand. These are the two closest cars on track though, himself and Ben Hoffman, so it just shows you how the field has spread out at the moment. I love the spec map on this year one racing Alpha Live car with the swirls in chrome. Looks brilliant. iRacing doing a great job of these reflections to an extent. I mean, it just looks like there's lots of safer barriers along the side of it, but, you know, it's not easy to do, so fair play. Flying at the moment, though, is Ben Hoffman. He's into that very important top 8. He's got 2.4 seconds over Ben White. There is the gap live. So as you can see, Ben, if anything, is opening it up slightly at the moment. Hope the stream looks okay. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves. Fan boost on, says Belgian Red Eagle. Love it. So Dries is now trying to catch up to Ben White. Yeah, I have the paint pack, Paul. It was installed earlier, mate. Let me just make sure. Just check when the paints were added into the folder. Yeah, they're all updated from earlier on, mate. Oh, no, Ben White. Well, that makes life easier for Dries van den Rijt. Now, this is the thing here, Kevin. I'm going to say this, but I think that ACC is a bit prettier. The headlights annoy me. The headlights really annoy me because one thing that ACC does is that there's a very bright reflection on the road from the headlights, but then the headlights barely look like they're bright at all. That's what bothers me. I agree that the overlays aren't anywhere near as pretty. The overlay is literally just like you are in the game, and it is a bit frustrating to use. However, I think it just looks a little bit better in terms of the actual graphics. iRacing looks more natural, though, I think I have to say. And of course, there's a lot more variation in cars and things you can do with iRacing, so it is the one that I stick with. Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. Overall, I do prefer iRacing, and it rather annoys me when people call it iRenting, or people that haven't even tried it call it iRenting and slag it off. I hate that. Anyway, this is Ben Hoffman and Hans Polmans, and I feel that if Ben keeps pushing as hard as he is, and Hans makes a mistake under pressure, Dries van den Rijt, who is 4 seconds back, could benefit from this and go through into the final. And after commentating on Kart Masters last weekend, trust me, I know how savage these sorts of things are, where you either make it through or you don't. Love it, Louis. Love it. Danny Fenning is close here to the back of Greg Parmenter, two teammates at Sim Stickers Academy. Very pretty cars. And through goes Danny. Greg running a little bit wide there. This is getting closer, though, you know. Ben Hoffman is very, very quick here. And that's the thing, Flero. Like, the one thing that iRacing has over everything is just how good the race is and how realistic the racing is. It's not really something you can explain, but just how immersive it is, and because of how well regulated it is, it just feels like the real thing. It's fantastic. And it's as challenging as well. Like, don't get me wrong, ACC is challenging, but iRacing is just, there's no hand-holding whatsoever. There's none of this, like, perfect sector or good sector or anything like that. Yeah, for sure, Flero, for sure. Yeah, I agree, Sebastian. Like, the natural look of it and how smoothly the cars move and how they react to bumps and things like that, it's just so spot on. Absolutely love it. I know what you mean, Kevin, about not being able to race like once an hour or however it is, but that's why, I mean, to be fair, I only do league stuff. I just feel that it's nicer to know who you're up against each week. It's more realistic having a championship where you're against the same people each week. And I mean, a lot of you may have seen as well that I do have my own league, the British Boring Car Championship, which is coming to the end of its first season. If you haven't seen it, do have a look on my YouTube channel. But not now, because this is what the moment's all about now. Christophe Herbignaud leading this race. Ross Nicholson in second position. And I like that, Louis. That's a very good point. Yeah, and agreed, Anton. Good to see you, Anton. So, Herbignaud leads. Nicholson second. Walstra third. Then it's Forsyth in fourth. Holger Meifert fifth. Wayne Palmer sixth. Hans Polmans in seventh. Just ahead of this man, Ben Hoffman. Dries van den Rijt about 3 seconds back on these guys. However, it doesn't look like Dries at this point is going to get anything from this unless we see a big move from Ben Hoffman. But I think at this point he's just going to be playing it safe to make sure he gets through to the final. There's no need for him to risk anything. But just coming up then into the final couple of corners is reigning champion Christophe Herbignaud. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not gonna continue my part in the which is the best sim argument or why some are better than the others. You can do that, but Christophe Herbignaud, he is focused on the job and taking the win here. Ross Nicholson just beating Tom Walstra along the straight there. Walstra must have had a demon final lap. He was 6/10 quicker than Nicholson. Forsyth fourth. Meifert is going to finish fifth, ahead of Wayne Palmer. Hans Polmans and Ben Hoffman right together on the line. Dries van den Rijt will start second on the grid for the consolation race. Danny Fenning not making it through. He'll be fourth on the grid with Greg Parmenter, his teammate, sixth. Phil Reagan will be eighth. But Hans Polmans, yes, he is through to the feature. Ross Nicholson in there as well. Tom Walstra, great comeback that was, especially after that rather poor start by his standards. Brilliant job. Absolutely brilliant job from the fiercely forward driver. I know Ollie will be very happy. He says it himself, actually. Incredible comeback. Wayne Palmer, he's in there as well. He finished sixth in that one for Sim Stickers. Excuse me. Nope, I didn't get it. He was moving his virtual mirror on the start. Random excuse. There you go. Or you could blame a driver in a series that I run, Dennis Melchett, had his dog run underneath his desk and under his pedals, so he couldn't press the brake all the way down because he'd kicked the dog. Anyway, Matthew Forrest on pole for this consolation race then, with Dries van den Rijt on the front row with him. Then it's Ewan Marshall, Danny Fenning, Carn Newen, Greg Parmenter, Paul Godden, Phil Reagan, Paul Kliss, Stephen Grabowski, Daniele Guidici, John Tusting, Luke Wobbs, Ben White, Lee Woodburn, Chris Roberts, Henning Stuhlinger, Taylor Lane and Mattis Groen lining up at the back of the field. Well done, Christophe Herbignaud. Great drive. Now you can sit back and enjoy this consolation race. The lights are coming on. Matthew Forrest ahead of two of the precision drivers. Dries van den Rijt. Wow, a lot of argy-bargy in the middle. That was Phil Reagan in the year one car getting involved there. Might have to take a look back at that. I was focusing on the front row. Carn Newen has one of the Sim Stickers cars right down the inside. I think that was Paul Godden. Let's just have a quick look back further down. It all seems pretty handy at the moment. 15 laps with a pit stop in this consolation race. So these guys are going to have the longest way round this evening. If you have to race in the consolation race and then make it through to the final, then you've got to do it all again. You'll do 3 races in a row if you're in that second heat. But Matt Forrest leading the way at the moment. Ewan Marshall has got company in the form of Danny Fenning. Oh, in the background, that is Luke Wobbs losing his nose cone. That's going to feel like a JCB at the minute. There's wings going everywhere. What happened to Luke Wobbs? That's not the bit I was looking for. Neither's that. Luke had a horrible start. And he's going to get overtaken in a minute after an incident here. I think he might have lost it on his own. Let's have a look. Goes up towards McLean's. He's on the outside. Yeah, he's going to clip the gravel, loses it, hits Lee Woodburn. To be fair, I'm very, very surprised that wasn't a bigger accident. Here's Danny Fenning. Oh, across the nose of Stephen Grabowski. That was feisty stuff. Don't forget the top 8 from this heat go through as well. Carl Newen just running wide ahead of these guys there. Manages to collect it all back together. John Tusting is having a battle again here with Paul Clist and Phil Reagan either side of him. I'm not sure how confident he'd be about that. He's had a coming together already with one of these guys tonight. And that, just behind, is Phil Reagan putting him under all sorts of pressure. Into McLean's they go once again. Oh, Danny Fenning has gone off the circuit. He was looking very feisty a minute ago. Hits the end of that barrier. Him and Stephen Grabowski both go off. Oh, Danny loses it. Stephen doesn't. Hits the wall. And here's John Tusting against the 2-year 1 cars. He's got another one behind in the form of Ben White. Down the inside he goes, though. And the Quantum Racing driver gets ahead. Now, Ben White has got his 2 teammates ahead of him now. Or stable mates, anyway. Down the inside goes Phil Reagan on Paul Clist. Ben White in a different class to these guys, as you can see on the left-hand side. So he goes through. Further up the order, Chris Roberts and Greg Parmenter are side by side. Greg down the inside. Through the middle goes Stephen Grabowski. Braver than I am, mate. Stephen making this work by the look of it as well. He just needs to give Parmenter all of that room. Nicely done by Stephen Grabowski. Looked like a little bit of damage for a second there on Chris Roberts' car. And John Tusting has stayed ahead of the 2-year 1 cars behind him. Ben White is going to want to get past his teammate though and try and get further up the order here. I'm not sure what team orders is going to be. Chris Roberts has gone off after just that little moment a moment ago. He's now off the circuit. Phil Reagan on the back of John Tusting once again. He's going to start putting the pressure on. Oh, Lee Woodburn's gone off and he's out of the race. He is not a happy bunny. So this is Daniele Guidici at the moment 7th. Sorry, 6th, because Woodburn has gone to the top of the standings. Matthew Forrest is leading this race by almost a second here from Dries van den Rijt and Ewan Marshall, so he's doing a great job. Further down the pack though, this is the close battle. Ben White just behind Phil Reagan, just ahead of Chris Roberts, who's recovering from going off the circuit. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream at the moment. We've got nearly 40 people watching and only 4 likes. Come on guys, you can do better than that. Show your love for the stream. Let's get at least 10. Don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to Sim Racers World TV. I'm your host Chaz Draycott for the entire series. Absolutely loving covering this championship. It's fantastic. Really is fantastic. Bart and the guys behind the scene do a really good job. It's very close in this battle here. If we go on board with Chris Roberts, you'll see all of it going on. Thank you very much for the likes, guys. We've surpassed 10 already. We're nearly at 1,000 subscribers as well on Sim Racers World TV. Chris Roberts following Ben White too closely. Spins him around. I'm sorry, but there was no reason to be that close mid-corner. And Ben White now drops way down. And John Tusting is all over the back of Greg Parmenter here. Through the chicane they go. John's got a really good run out of there. He's going to go down the inside into the hairpin. Onto the brakes and the Quantum Racing car into the top 8 now. Which of course will see him through to the final. Anyone that makes it through from this point though will be, as they finish in this heat, they will be the last 8 cars on the grid in the order they finish. Matthew Forrest, fastest lap of the race, 1:22.4. Great stuff from him. He's really showing his worth at the moment. Ben White has decided to come in the pit lane now. He's thinking, right, undercut time. Let's crack on with it, shall we? Dries van den Rijt and Ewan Marshall are 7/10 of a second apart here. This is pretty close. The gap fluctuating slightly. It's about 8/10 now. We know that Van den Rijt's quick, but Ewan Marshall had a great first race, gaining more and more positions. Not quite getting into the top 8 though. look at Ewan's commitment through there. Takes a chunk out of Van den Rijt's time, but Van den Rijt had already opened it up earlier on in the lap. Now he's really closed in. 0.3 of a second now for Ewan Marshall. He's going to be looking to make a move soon, and Dries is going to be feeling the pressure any time now. Takes a late apex to get a good run out, does Ewan. It's going to be a strong chase, this one. Down the crane of curves we go. Still doesn't look like enough from him. It's close here between Chris Roberts and Henning Stuhlinger. Chris trying to recover now after going off earlier. Out of all the guys that have pitted so far in this race, if I show you on the left-hand side, Ben White is the highest positioned one. He's a long way off these guys, I'm afraid. On lap 6 out of 15 in this consolation race. Dries Van den Rijt just holding on to second place at the moment, 2.8 seconds off Matt Forrest now. Matt's doing a great job. I'm not even sure if he likes being called Matt, to be honest. But we'll find out one way or another at some point. If he wants to write a letter of complaint, I'm more than welcome for it. Again, fastest lap of the race though. We can't complain about that, can he? 1:22.224. Van den Rijt does his fastest lap of the race as well. Henning Stuhlinger enters the pit lane. This is your race leader doing a great job at the moment. Daniele Guidici's got them queuing up behind him. Stephen Grabowski and John Tusting. These are the last 3 cars that are currently going through to the final as well, so Daniele needs to hold on to this. I'm not 100% sure, if I'm honest, Tim. Sorry, mate. It's a bit difficult for me to remember. It is with a pit stop, Louis. Yes, there are guys that are pitting. Oh, it's close between second and third, by the way. More than close. Ewan Marshall's got past Dries Van den Rijt. I believe this may have been a slowdown for Dries. Yeah, he's got to slow down there. Gets out of the way, so that position has now changed. And he's gapped him as well. So Dries will be happy with that. Khan Nguyen only 0.4 of a second behind Paul Godden. Oh, no. Stephen Grabowski's off. And I know what this is going to be. This is just too much right boot on the exit of the hairpin. It's so easy to do it. Yeah, he's just trying to give the extra room. John Tusting got away with that. Definitely got away with that one. Let's go on board with John. You'll see Stephen tries to hug the tyre line as he gets on the throttle. Nicely avoided there by John Tusting, to be fair. This is still close within the top 8, though. Chris Roberts is close to the back of Phil Reagan. Chris trying to make his way up. These two in the same class, both in the academy class. We'll put the classes at the top of the screen for you, just so you can see what I'm on about. Nice to see them with such big names as well, rather than just Pro and Am, or Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, or Gold, Silver, Bronze, and all that. Quite nice. Makes my job a little bit more difficult, remembering which is which, but I like the challenge. So thank you, Bart. But this is Chris Roberts all over the back of Phil Reagan at the moment. Chris doesn't quite have the run out of there. He breaks early into the hairpin. He's just trying to line the corner up so he gets a good exit, but he's not quite got it at the moment as Chris Roberts. Is he going to come in the pits? He is. So that's Chris Roberts on the pit lane then. Daniele Guidici has got John Tusting right behind him. John's done a good job of recovering at the moment. He's inside the top 8. So we'll have to keep an eye on how John gets on. Daniele Guidici, of course, went straight on with that damage earlier, so he's going to want to got through this consolation race without any issues. Stephen Grabowski's just gone off circuit, manages to collect it. Chris Roberts has now got Henning Stuhlinger right behind him, after he has pitted. Highest placed driver of those that have pitted now is Chris Roberts. So we need to keep an eye on where he comes out in comparison to the other drivers, or where the other drivers come out in comparison to him, I should say. Here's Guidici in 6th position. The Italian just defending from John Tusting at the moment. Neither of them pitting this time round. There is John's Quantum racing car, with the bright yellow accents and the silver highlights. Whoa! Daniele Guidici just cutting the nose off him there. Oh, Chris Roberts, we were watching him before he stopped. He's lost it on the exit of the hairpin in the VRC car. Gets going again, but he has dropped right down now, I'm afraid. Daniele Guidici doing a great job at holding on here against John Tusting. John putting him under all sorts of pressure. These cars are so on the edge, aren't they? Always on the edge around Donington Park. Awesome to watch. I always find the wing mirrors funny on these cars, if you haven't noticed. Look at the... oh, you can't see them from there. The height of the wing mirrors, the left one, because of the airbox, is much higher than the right one. It's very funny to look at. So no one in the top 10 at the moment has pitted, as things stand. And they haven't got long to do it. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone forgets. This is Henning Stuhlinger down the inside of Paul Clist. Paul tries to get the cutback, but Henning goes through into 10th position. Yeah, Donington is great, but I hate the Grand Prix layout with those hairpins. Really do. Ben White is trying to get the place on his teammate now. It's 1-2-1 and 2-1-1. Don't get confused. As, that was Paul Clist letting him through. Fine job by Paul there. Nice teamwork. Ben is now going to go chasing after Henning Stuhlinger. Luke Wobbs has passed Danny Fenning a little bit further down the order. Let's have a look how he's done that. Makes his intentions very clear. Into the hairpin and down the inside he goes. Paul Godden's sat in 4th at the moment with Carl Newen in 5th. These guys have had a bit of an under the radar race as things stand. And into the pits goes Carl Newen. Look at that Stephen Grabowski car in the background. Stephen Grabowski has had a real issue here. I didn't see that come up on my event viewer. Oh, that curb unsettles the car, and that's going to be a big one. Into the barrier hard, loses the left rear. And that, unfortunately, for Stephen Grabowski is the end of his night. Don't forget, it's the outside of the top 8 that will not be making it through, and they will be locked into where they are now and get championship points based on their positions. And with not long left to go in this race, I'm wondering, oh, as Phil Reagan's dropped it, he was 8th. Is he going to lose a spot? He's the last car that's not pitted at the moment. Carl Newen is behind him, so Carl will go ahead anyway when Phil pits. But I'm just wondering whether any of these guys have forgotten that they've got a pit. That's Matt Forrest surely coming in. Yep. Ewan Marshall doesn't come in. Dries van den Rijt doesn't come in. Here's Paul Godden. He needs to come in. Yep, that's coming in. Daniele Guidici does the same. John Tusting does not. Greg Parmenter does. So it looks like these guys have remembered. This is Phil Regan in 8th place, trying to defend from Carn Newen. Phil Regan doesn't pit. Godden is coming out of the pit lane though. There he is with Daniele Guidici just behind. Godden stays ahead of Regan, but Guidici drops behind these pair now. Carn Newen gets ahead. Phil Regan is the highest placed car in the Academy class at the moment, but of course once he pits he won't be. Just to show you the pit stops on the left. There you are. So a couple of guys not pitting yet. Marshall, Van den Wright, Tusting and Regan. Only 2 precision drivers in this field for this consolation race. Surely he's got to pit this time round. Bart saying there's about 13.5 laps of fuel, so that's going to run out very shortly. Dries Van den Wright also in the pits. John Tusting must come in. Oh, Phil Regan has lost out to Carn Newen and Daniele Guidici. John Tusting has come in the pits, as you can see on the left. So Phil Regan just needs to be the next one. Speedy Kiwi asking for a shout out. Well, if your username was your real name, I'd know who you were. White flag's in the air, or it would have been for John Tusting, who's on pit exit, and in goes Phil Regan. So Matthew Forrest captures the lead of the race. Oh, it's you, Tanguy. Sorry, Chad. Love it. Closest 2 cars on track then, John Tusting and Carn Newen. Carn is the highest placed car in the Academy class at the moment. Everyone's stopped now, so we don't need that graphic. Chaz, chat. Cheddar. My full name is actually Charles, and it has been, well, since I was born, I suppose. But I've always been called Chaz. The whole Chazlington thing came from a nickname in high school, but now it's just Chaz Draycott Media. There you go. We'll give you a wave. There you are. Wave emoji. Yay. Right, John Tusting then. He's got a job to do here. Carn Newen ahead. He'll want to gain that extra place on the grid for the final. But it looks like Greg Parmenter's 8th position is safe at the moment. Danny Fenning is off and in the wall. That's out of McLean's. Chaz Baron von Chazlington. Oh, Danny's made a bit of a mess of that rejoin and he's giving it in. He's packed it in. That's going to be the end of his night, I imagine. Surely you'd want the points for finishing. Final lap then. Race leader Matthew Forrest doing a fine job. 3 seconds ahead of Ewan Marshall and Dries Van den Wright. Maybe our Dell between Maria and Chazos. Wow, Carlos Santa Del Maria Chazos, Lord Draycott von Chaz, Dre Chazcott, na Chaz man. Wow, I love it. Thank you guys. Thank you. Right then, Matthew Forrest is on his way to take a consolation race win. Thank you, Anton. I'm glad people like me. I really do hope that you enjoy my streaming, everyone, and the commentary. I seem to be doing something right. But Matthew Forrest has done everything right in this race. He's led from the very start. He's going to come round the final corner, and I'm sure his hands will be in the air in real life. Matthew Forrest takes the consolation race here at Donington. Fantastic drive. Ewan Marshall gets through, as well as Dries Van den Wright. Paul Godden, another Sim Stickers car, will be into the final. And just behind, Carn Newen and John Tusting, 5th and 6th. Well done to those guys. Then we have Daniele Guidici coming home in 7th. And Greg Parmenter at the bottom of your shot there. He's going to go through. Hans says, to the rig. Love it. Henning Stuhlinger just not quite getting through there. Same with Ben White. Unfortunately, after that incident earlier on. But Matthew Forrest takes the consolation race win, but he has no time to relax now, as the next race will be right upon us in just a moment's time. This is the part of the stream where I take a bit of a break just while the guys have their warm-up session before the final race of the night. So do stick with us and we'll bring you all the action very shortly. Once these guys get partway through their warm-up, I'll be right back with you. Okay then, hello everybody, I'm back now. All sorted, these guys are way into their rhythm then during the warm-up session. We've got a couple of cars off, Paul Godden just sat on the grass. Sebastian Hebra making his way round as well. It's great to see the warm-up session before the final heat. I do love this format, I'm not going to stop going on about it. As Tom Wallstra goes fourth, just ahead of this final. Very exciting race we've got ahead of us. Ben White saying he had no force feedback in that one. It really is a nightmare, mate. I know what you mean. I've had a few races where my force feedback has died partway through. I used to have a Logitech Driving Force GT, so to be fair, it didn't make much difference. I hope you get it sorted, mate. I hope it's not a recurring issue anyway. So, 8 cars from the first heat have gone through, 8 cars from the second heat have gone through, and then 8 cars from the Consolation race have made it through as well. Brian Loynes is just sitting there getting his deck chair out. Really hope you're enjoying the stream so far here on Sim Racers World TV, whether you be watching on Facebook or on YouTube. I'm very grateful for you watching this evening. It's been a lot of fun already. Plenty more coming up as well in the Sim Racers World Formula 3 series. We go to Circuit of the Americas in 2 meetings time. For some reason I don't have the track next to this one. The next one, we'll change that, we'll have a look. Apologies everyone, I should know this. We'll have a look, shall we? It's Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in 2 weeks' time. Absolutely amazing circuit in Montreal. I really do love that track. You can hear me typing as I put it in my my calendar. But yes, Montreal, one of the very best circuits in the world. We will turn the music off because the session will finish in just a sec. This is Bart Dailman though, who's going to be looking for a win tonight. Bart's got some real pace around here. And I think he's one of the guys that could take it to this man, Christophe Herbigno. As the session finishes then. Everyone will suddenly disappear in just a sec or just pull the cars over. Oh, wow. James Forsythe, what happened there, mate? Launches it at the scenery. And here we go then, we have the grid for the final race of the evening. Bart Dailman on pole, Christophe Herbigno alongside, with Adrian Falcon and Ross Nicholson on row 2. Then it's Brian Loynes and Tom Wallstra. Kevin Zemstra and James Forsythe on row 4. Tim Rutten, the highest placed consistency driver with Holger Meifert, Victor Balea-Santelas and Wayne Palmer just behind. Then we have Louis Correa and Hans Polman, Sebastian Hebra, Ben Hoffman, Matthew Forrest, Ewan Marshall, Dries van der Rijt, Paul Godden, Con Newen, Daniele Guidici and Greg Parmenter, the only Academy drivers to make it through into the final, with John Tusting in there as well, 22nd on the grid. So hold on to your hats, everybody, because this is going to be a real belter of a race. Donington Park, as I've said in the video description, always does throw up some fantastic racing in Formula 3 cars. And it's going to be an awesome, awesome round of the championship, this one. So a lot of the points are already set then for the rest of the guys that haven't got to this point of the evening. But the final, the feature race, in round 4, the Sim Stickers Simracersworld Formula 3 series from Donington Park is away. Looks like a very good start from Bart Dailman. You've got Adrian Falcon, Christophe Herbigno and Ross Nicholson fighting for second place. They're just in the middle. Falcon down the inside, and then the two Sim Stickers cars fanning out. Then down the inside goes Tom Wallstra. Doesn't quite make it work. Looks like a bit of shenanigans a bit further back in the pack. Still managing to scoop it around down the Craner curve. Side by side, Adrian Falcon up into second place. Matthew Forrest has gone off the circuit. Same with James Forsyth as well. He's gone wide and slowed down. But they all managed to get it together. Look at this lot in here as well. Down the inside, this is Wallstra. Just ahead of him, Brian Loynes. And behind that, Tim Rutten on Kevin Zemstra. Tim Rutten in the consistency class. The middle class. We'll put them at the top of the screen for you, just so you know what I'm on about. Very close as they all come 2 by 2. Noah's Ark into the chicane. Down the inside, there goes Brian Loynes. The two fiercely forward cars almost making contact just behind here. Bit of shenaniganry as they all swap around on the outside there. That's Louis Correa slowing down. Further behind this, it's 3 wide. Khan Newen. Oh, and it looks like we've got a couple of cars around. Tom Wallstra. Both the fiercely forward cars. They're both off. What happened there? Oh, Daniele Guidici's gone straight on. Tom Wallstra and his teammate Kevin Zemstra have come together. Just trying to figure it out again, sorry. That's before it had all gone on. I'm trying to get this as quickly as I can for you. I'm really sorry, everyone. Here we go. Into the hairpin they go. Oh, two of them hit each other. Kevin Zemstra backs into him, and then as the 1-2-5 of Hans Polmans tries to avoid all the chaos, he gets clipped as well and spins around. Sander, good to see you, mate. Good to see you in the chat. At the moment, though, Bart Daleman's still leading the race. Adrian Falcon almost 2 seconds back. It's close in the middle here. Hans Polmans and Greg Parmenter. Hans will now be making his way back up the order. I'm sure his fan club in the YouTube chat will be going nuts. Class leaders then at the moment. Daleman leading precision, Rutten leading consistency, and then Khan Newen leading academy. There's 3 academy cars in this field at the moment. You'll see on the left hand side here. As into the pits early comes Hans Polmans. There's the 3 in that class. Khan Newen leading that class at the moment in 15th position. Show you the gains on the left hand side. Some big movers. Ewan Marshall and Dries van den Rijt, of course, the 2 precision drivers, started further down the order. I think. No, Hans is just having his normal pit stop, I think. He's come out just behind Kevin Zemstra and Tom Wallstra. Yep, and Louis makes a very good point. These fiercely forward cars have got no one ahead of them now, so clear track to go and do some laps. This is Victor Balea Centelles with James Forsyth just behind. James has been good to watch in this championship so far. Down the inside into the hairpin. Holger Meifert wants to go with him. Victor's not letting him take that easily though, is he, in the Team Iridium car? Holger Meifert had a bit of a stutter out the final corner there, and he's going to lose out to Ben Hoffman if he's not careful. James Forsyth to the inside of Victor Centelles. Down the inside. Oh, close stuff. Very close. Manages to get it done. Adrian Falcon has got Christophe Herbigno right behind him here. Christophe, big slide. It's not often you slide a Formula 3 car through the old hairpin and get away with it and tell the tale. Wow. Amazing control by Christophe Herbigno. We're going to go back and have a look. Look at this, just after it gets off the curb. How did he do that? What an incredible save by Christophe Herbigno, the reigning champ. Here's Ben Hoffman. You can see his teammate a few places ahead. They're usually inseparable on track. Down the inside, very commanding move on Holger Meifert. Through he goes. Great stuff from the German. Into the hairpin, goes slightly defensive. Makes it work though. The two countrymen doing a great job at the moment. Oh, Matt Forrest has had an issue out the hairpin. Not quite sure whether he's had a spin before that. Just on the throttle. Oh, the car just goes around. Tries to get it stopped. Gets going again. This is Tim Rutten leading the consistency class at the moment. He's got a car between himself and second place in class, Victor Centelles. Oh, we've got Khan Newen running wide out the old hairpin. Khan leading class at the moment, so he wants to hold on to that, does the Swiss driver. He's got Sebastian Heberer right behind him in the Sim Racers World esports car. Ben Hoffman has just got past Victor. Victor's all over the grass. Oh, Ewan Marshall's just gone past as well. Holger Meifert made a real mess of that. Holger tried to go through and take the advantage as Victor went slowly, but car hopped in the air. He managed to save it from going around. Oh, they've had an accident just after this. Let me have a look. Oh, that's the 177 down the inside. Holger doesn't see him come in. Oh, no. It was Wayne Palmer, and then Paul Godden gets into him afterwards as well. Such a shame that. We don't want to see that, do we? So Khan Newen still with Heber all over him, but I must look back to the front because Adrian Falcon, he's on the thumbnail, so he better do well here. But he's leading the championship overall at the moment as the number 5 driver. Christophe Herbignaud, reigning champion. He's trying everything in his power to get past. Great battle we've got going on. Ben Hoffman's gone off the circuit. He's run wide out of McLean's. It's a scary corner to run wide at. He's third in class at the moment. And these are the closest cars on track then. Right behind Ewan Marshall. He cares not that Ewan is in the class above him. He has to get on the anchors. He's got a car right behind him as well. Dries van den Wright. Oh, Wayne Palmer's gone off the circuit at the chicane. Wayne Palmer and Khan Newen side by side going into the chicane. And then Wayne just goes straight on there, trying to avoid the contact. Khan Newen still in a battle though. John Tusting. Seems that John is always coming through from the back of the field. He does a good job of it. Around the outside. Tries to carry the pace. Into the pits in the background comes Wayne Palmer. Side by side. Down the inside goes John. Speaking of side by side, Adrian Falcon and Christophe Herbignaud must be round the outside at McLean's. You don't see that work often. But only Christophe Herbignaud. Adrian Falcon not giving him much room. He's saying you will stay on the outside, mate. And Adrian Falcon holds on to the position. Herbignaud puts him under pressure though. Squeezes him to the left. He says you're going to stay over there this time. Dives out to the right. Falcon goes with him. Falcon might go in a bit hot there though. Herbignaud's going to try and get the run on the exit. Lines it up nicely. Falcon goes defensive. Herbignaud goes over there with him. Who's going to get the brakes first? Be careful, boys. This is such close racing. All this time, Ross Nicholson's going to be sat behind thinking, go on then. And he's actually already got an overlap on Herbignaud. It doesn't work out. Fantastic defensive driving from Adrian Falcon. That was very feisty stuff. And Bart Daleman can indeed build a gap. Anton. Wow, big slide again from Christophe Herbignaud. Lights up the rears, doesn't get anywhere. Brian Loynes is going to go through as well. And the other Sim Stickers racing machine. And through he goes. Ben Hoffman comes in the pit lane. Ewan Marshall here is chasing Victor Centelles. He's going to try and make another position and go chasing after that top couple. Oh, no, he's not. Oh, that was the commentator's curse all over, wasn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. I really hope Andy Hopley's not watching. Ewan Marshall just lights it up on the exit of the corner. Around it goes, unfortunately, and he's going to lose places. Ross Nicholson now up to third. Ross is one of those drivers that just performs under the radar in this series. He was fantastic in last season's championship, took a couple of race wins, I believe. I know he took at least one. But he was always up there getting points, and that's how you do well in these championships. Tom Wallstra and Kevin Zemstra are making some sort of progress. They are the highest placed drivers that are pitted at the moment. But they're almost half a minute off the lead. Interesting though, because pit lane time is, let's have a look, it's been about 27 seconds, so they could be back in it, but they may have to pit twice. We're on lap 8 out of 22 here in the feature race at Donington Park, and Bart Delman does the fastest lap of the race, a 1:21.409. Oh, Daniele Guidici. Oh, Ewan Marshall's having a nightmare tonight. Let's have a look what happened to Daniele Guidici and Ewan Marshall. Daniele down the inside, locks up into the side of Ewan. Oh, right, okay. I thought you might need to stop again, Ollie, because apparently you can only get 13.5 laps out of the fuel. But this could work. And is that you, Mr. Holroyd? Good to see you, mate. Yeah, Victor Centellas is doing a great job in 8th. Second in class at the moment. It's Tim Rutten. I'm very intrigued to see how these fiercely forward cars get on then. They've got no one fighting with them on track. Oh, Daniele Guidici's gone off. He's gone way off. He's almost at the airport there. Depart runway 27 right, please, Daniele, from East Midlands. Christophe Herbigno has got past Nicholson and Loynes as Daleman. Well, Daleman did have the fastest lap of the race until just then, Christophe Herbigno. Good evening, Luke. I hope you're well, mate. I really do. Oh, Greg Parmenter and Tom Wallstra. Well, that's the end of the comeback from Wallstra. What's happened here? Oh, Greg loses it, gets on the brakes, and Tom goes straight into the back of him. He's going to absolutely be kicking himself because of that one. He's trying to drag it up the hill. The wheel tethers are very thin, aren't they? That's going to be the end of that for Tom Wallstra, I think. That's a real shame because it could have been such a great comeback. But it's just not going to happen now. Here's Victor Centellas then. Whoa, all over the place in the Team Iridium car. Really pushing the limits there. Here's Holger Meifert on the back of Paul Godden. He's going to be chasing him down for 16th place. Let me know if the stream looks alright. Oh, never mind. That doesn't look alright for Holger Meifert, does it? Sod the stream. Oh, nice. Good stuff, Luke. People seem to think that I'm commentating that this weekend, and I've promised them that I'm not. But apparently a little birdie's telling everybody that I'm commentating on the British 24. Tim Rutten, class leader, by the way, into the pits. Gets it slowed down a lot there. Looked a bit late. Hopefully he doesn't get a drive-through for it, but he's doing a great job at the moment, it's Tim. Oh, Ben Hoffman's had an issue. Ben Hoffman's spun it out of Coppice. Tries to get it back underway again. The car's all over the place on the exit. But back of the front, Bart Daleman, there he is. Doing a fantastic drive at the moment. And it wasn't Coppice at all, was it, that Ben Hoffman lost it? Oh, yeah, it was. I correct myself there. Here's Ross Nicholson in 4th place. Ross has been, like I say, a real star in the previous season. Good to see him up there again. Interesting how the class, the classification now could mix this up for these guys. Very intrigued to see if it changes anybody's driving style or how they approach a battle, for example. Across the line once again, Christophe Herbigno, another purple lap there, fastest lap of the race. Dries van den Rijt has dropped it. Now I'm just going to raise a point here that I was thinking about the other day. Now, this isn't anything to say that I hope Dries van den Rijt was out of the race, but don't you wish that the gravel traps actually stopped these sorts of cars and got them beached? Because on iRacing you can just drive across them at full pace. I do wish that... Oh, Dries is not going to get out of that one, surely. Gets going again. That was a real moment, that, for Dries van den Rijt. Let's see how quickly that thing just snaps around. Just as it bottoms out, he almost had it saved as well. But that was a lively, lively moment for him, as through goes Ben Hoffman just ahead. Highest placed car that's pitted now is Tim Rutten in this race, on lap 12 out of 22. I know a code brown when I see one, says Louis. And yes, I'm glad you agree, Anton, because to be fair, I think it would be fantastic if the gravel actually did stop the cars, because so many people aren't scared of putting it in the gravel, but if you did and it beached the car, then that would be a reason for it to bring out a safety car, for example. Because you don't see the safety car brought out unless it's done manually in road racing on iRacing. And I think if you had like a hardcore mode where you couldn't tow back to the pits, for example, then it'd be brilliant, because you'd have to bring the safety car out. I think we'd see a lot of safety cars in sim racing, but I think that would just add to it, to be honest. I'd quite enjoy that, especially if they were in the gravel. Anyway, I can only dream. We're getting 3D grass soon, yay. Now, in all fairness, it will look great on iRacing. I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait to see how hot my CPU gets. But this is Ewan Marshall. Probably worrying about how hot his head's going to get at the moment, because he's really trying here, is Ewan, for Meraki Racing. He's had an absolute nightmare of an evening so far. That's Khan Newen just coming out in front of him. He makes contact. Oh, the nightmare continues with Paul Godden. And they get going again. Oh my goodness me, boys. Paul goes down the inside, brakes really hard. Ewan just doesn't quite judge it right. Khan Newen really judged it right, though. Great avoidance. The rejoin wasn't so well executed, but honestly, Ewan Marshall is having the worst of evenings. He's going to be kicking himself. Yeah, I agree on that one, Anton. Maybe a limit of like one safety car or something. I don't know. Anyway, some of the leaders in the pit lane. Christophe Herbigno leaves the pit lane very hurriedly. Your race leader Bart Daleman is carrying on with no pit stop yet. James Forsythe, one of the only other cars not to pit yet. It would be good in endurance events. I think, to be fair, I think if it had a really good algorithm behind it of why it came out, then I think it'd be very good. If it was a car that was like way off and in the wall that could tow back, then that'd be great. If it has to sit in the gravel, then if it's near the racing surface or, you know, just offline, then I think it'd be good to have a safety car. Because it's not often that the cars are at a point where they can't be driven away. But I suppose you wouldn't be not able to drive it away because of damage. It'd be more because it's in gravel and you can't drive out of it. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff to think about. Khan Newen, class leader, who just avoided that incident, is back on here. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, R. Hopeman. Much appreciated. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Don't forget to drop the video a like and subscribe to Simracersworld TV if you haven't already. My name is Chaz Draycott. And Luke has not kept up with the times, have you, mate? Tom Walstra is out of the race, I'm afraid. Adrian Falcon, by the way, is only just ahead of Christophe Herbigno now. Christophe's been flying, and he's had a good pit stop. Well, Tom got caught up with a car in front, just losing it. The car in front got on the brakes, and he went into the back of it. Not really another way of saying it, to be honest. it was hard for him to react in time. It would have been a very, very difficult scenario to get right. John Tusting has just lost out to Matthew Forrest. He's just gone through for 12th place, but John's not taking that line down. Dives back out again. Around the outside he goes. Onto the brakes. Just tries to optimise his line through the corner. Khan Newen is in again here. Although I don't think Khan's actually pitted. Let's have a look quickly before he stops. That's a drive-through if I've ever seen one for Khan Newen. Daniele Guidici, where is he? There. So Khan's got a very big lead in class still. So he can be happy with that. Matthew Forrest has opened it up a little bit to John Tusting here. The field's a little bit spread out now. And of the 3 cars in the academy class, 2 of them are still running. Nice little battle going on here though. Oh, Dries Vandenrijk, by the way, is right on the back of Paul Godden in the Sim Stickers car. Dries now recovering from his accident that he had here a couple of laps ago. And through he goes. Paul Godden not putting up too much of a fight there. And yes, Hans Polmans has gained a position and he's near the top 10. He's only got a second though over Matthew Forrest and John Tusting, who we were looking at just a second ago. But Hans Polmans doing a good job at the moment. So too is Bart Daleman, and so too is Adrian Falcon. But look at this battle with Christophe Herbigno. It just will not go away. Christophe is all over him. Doing an amazing job at the moment. So close between them. Sorry, there's a fly in my room. I do not permit flies in the office. But this battle is ever adapting. Passing traffic there, that was Khan Newen, I believe. Down the hill we go. This is on board with Adrian Falcon. Oh, he's gone wide through the old hairpin. He's going to lose plenty of ground now to Christophe Herbigno. What can Christophe do? Here is the onboard from the Frenchman's front right wheel. Let's go to the left front wheel. Down the inside he goes. And there is Adrian Falcon. And ahead now is Christophe Herbigno. Great move. Adrian's coming back at him though. What can he do? He's looking down the inside. There's contact and Herbigno's gone straight on. Now I'm not sure who squeezed who. We'll have a look from the outside. I was too busy having fun on my suspension cameras. Oh, they were both moving around quite a bit. Be interested to see whether Adrian gives the place back, but he might feel that Christophe moved under brakes. He also moved as well. He went to the right, Christophe went to the left. But luckily for Christophe, he's not lost any places. He's weaving around, he can't flash his headlights at the car of Daniele Guidici, so he's just got to get on with it. Now those two, Daniele Guidici by the way, has got Khan Newen right ahead of him. And the two of them are within 2 seconds actually. There's Khan Newen and there is Daniele Guidici. That's for the lead in their class. Oh, Victor Bolea Centelles is having a moment. At least it's not his internet having a moment like it was earlier in the season. And that does mean that Hans Polmans is now in P10 after a couple of moments in that battle behind him. Hansy's doing a great job at the moment. Everyone loves it, don't they? But Tim Rutten is leading that class, and Tim's having a fantastic showing. He had a very tough season one, a lot of incidents, and a couple of silly moves. But he's doing everyone proud at the moment here. Running as a privateer this season. Sebastian Hebero's second in that class. He's got Kevin Zemstra just behind him on track. Kevin's putting a great recovery drive here after that incident earlier on. I know he'll have wanted more from this race, but he can be very happy with the fact that he's gained this many places. Dries van den Rijt is off, and that is going to be the end of his race. Dries van den Rijt's had so many spins and moments this evening. That just sums it up, I'm afraid. Car gets out of shape on the brakes, overcorrects, and biff into the barrier. That's such a shame from Dries van den Rijt. Such a shame indeed. Hans Polmans, of course, is still in the top 10, don't worry. It's just because Van den Rijt's popped up the order there because of him going to the pits. But Polmans has got Forrest right behind him now. These two in the same class. We're on lap 19 of 22 here. Hans is going to have to defend hard here. What do you make of these cameras, everyone? The suspension cameras, do you like them? I'm a big fan. Oh. We're going to see a Forrest somewhere. There he is. And there he goes. There is Matt Forrest just going past round the outside into Coppice. Still not done though. And in this as well is John Tusting. This is all kicking off between these three. Matt Forrest on the inside, Hans Polmans on the outside, John Tusting waiting in the wings. Last of the late breakers, Forrest down the inside, Tusting opportunistic, Hans Polmans in there as well. Victor Centelles says thank you very much. I will sweep up, boys. Cheers. Oh no, nearly makes contact with Hans Polmans. The three of them bunching together, gets it stopped. Does he? He's going to spin it. He's going to clip Hans. He doesn't. Oh my goodness me, how those boys made that all the way around there without making any contact or anyone crashing, I do not know. That was epic from Victor. I'm really, really disappointed that he didn't make that stick. What amazing racing. We're going to have to go back through that though and have another look. From Victor Centelle's car. See, he sees it all bunching up in front of him. Into the chicane they go. Watch this opportunism here from Victor Centelles. He just lines his corner up, does his job, and he just thinks, oh great, down the inside, a little bit off the throttle, down the inside again. He's going to get very close here. There's going to be a bit of a bump. Ready? There, just as he goes over to the left, and then he loses it just there as the car pitches in on the downshift, manages to save it, stop it spinning all the way around, lights up the rears on the exit, and away he goes. That was fantastic. And there's battling again here. Hans Polmans side by side with John Tusting. John Tusting getting the move done. Centelles going through as well. Whoa, look at Centelles, they're in the middle again. John Tusting got a slowdown. Victor doesn't care. Look at him go. He's absolutely on fire, is Victor Centelles. That was amazing stuff. Again, we'll go on board. He gets a great run out of Coppice. John Tusting gets a slowdown. Victor just says, nah, get out of the way, Hans. I'm coming through. That is so close to contact. And into the chicane, he cares not if Hans is there. Through he goes. That was fantastic. Some could argue that it was a bit reckless, but brilliant driving all the same. And now Hans Polmans has got back past him. What an epic battle we've got going on here. Look at them darting around like mad. There's got to be an incident here, surely. Take it easy, boys. Victor back down the inside of Hans Polmans. So close to making contact. John Tusting has to go onto the grass just to avoid it. Wayne Palmer's going to get involved in this party as well now. Oh, need a beer. Hans Polmans, though, still in this fight. Bart Delman just crossing the line, by the way. White flag in the air for him. Adrian Falcon just in the background. Second place ahead of Herbigno, but we have to keep our eye on these pair. So entertaining. Centelles down the inside of Hans Polmans once again. Is Hans going to get the cutback? No, he loses out a bit there. He loses out just a little bit. Now John Tusting is going to have the best view in the house here. Because ahead of him, he's got Palmer, then Polmans, then Centelles. Great run out of there by Tusting. Look at that. That just shows you get that first part of the chicane hooked up. You are going to get all of the momentum on the exit. Down the inside, and Hans Polman's gone down the inside of Victor Centelles. They're still side by side on the exit. Victor moves over. And again, he doesn't need to keep moving over. Neither does Hans. Why do it? Why do it, boys? Come on. You don't need to move over in a straight line. I've said this in every series that I've broadcasted on. You do not need to move over in a straight line. It causes accidents, and there's no need. Victor's still defending though, but oh, Christophe Herbigno's off! And surely he's out of the race. Big damage to Christophe Herbigno's car. He gets going again. Con Newen gets the fright of his life, but Bart Delman is going to take the overall victory here tonight. Fantastic drive all evening. Bart Delman, that's not me clapping, I'm trying to kill a fly. Bart Delman takes the race win. Adrian Falcon is going to finish second and surely retain his championship lead. Ross Nicholson gets a podium after what happened to Christophe Herbigno. We'll go back to this because there's still half a lap to go here. Tim Rutten is going to win the consistency class. Very well done to Tim Rutten, great showing, but what a battle we've got going on here. How is this going to develop into the final couple of corners? Victor Centella is just holding on at the moment. Are we going to see a last minute dive from Hans Polmans? He looks down the inside, opens the door, nearly a bit of contact into the hairpin. They go side by side up the hill. Place your bets, everybody. Place your bets, grab your lawyer, give him a ring. Down the inside goes Victor Centella then. Holds the position. Hans Polman's looking for a cutback. Tries to. He's made contact with the back of him. The suspension's all over the shop, but he manages to survive it, and Victor Centella holds on. What a battle. Goodness me. Goodness me, boys. What a battle. And, well, Hans Polman slams on the brakes, but what happened to Christophe Herbigno? Into the chicane, through the right. He's trying too hard. He's going to clip the grass. Manages to save it. Oh, then the car suddenly gets upset. Kisses the wall with the nose. Well, more of a Glaswegian kiss. Gets on with it. Con Newen, code brown. And then what's the damage like on Herbigno's car? Although he'd already lost the place to Ross Nicholson because Ross has already gone up the hill. But anyway, there is your winner this evening, everybody. Bart Delman. What a fantastic performance from Bart. Does some donuts, hits Ross Nicholson for the bants. Very, very well done from Bart Delman. That was an absolutely epic performance. A lot of fun to watch. A lot of fun to watch. I really hope you've enjoyed the show this evening, everybody. We will go through the results and have some interviews just now then. Here are your results then. Bart Delman taking the race win, 3.7 seconds clear of Adrian Falcon. Fantastic performance by Bart. Ross Nicholson and Brian Loynes, third and fourth there. Plenty of points for their team, Sim Stickers Racing. James Forsyth, fifth place after that one. He'll be over the moon with that. Christophe Herbigno has been classified a long way down as well, actually. That's very interesting. Tim Rutten takes the win in the consistency class ahead of Kevin Zemstra in 7th, Sebastian Herberer in 8th, Matthew Forrest 9th, and Victor Belair Centellas in 10th, just ahead of Hans Polman's John Tusting, and somehow it was close enough that Christophe Herbigno was actually placed in the middle of that. Amazing stuff. Wayne Palmer in 14th, Holger Meifert in 15th place. That's very true, Anton. Very true. Maybe because of the incident points there. Holger Meifert 15th, Louis Correa in 16th position, with Paul Godden 17th, Ben Hoffman in 18th. Then Con Newen, a lap down, wins in the Academy class, just ahead of Daniele Guidici. And Dries van den Rijt out of the race, as well as Ewan Marshall, Tom Walstra, and Greg Parmenter. Well, we have had an absolutely unbelievable race evening tonight, everybody. We're going to get everything reversed. We're going to grab some interviews. And well, who do we speak to first then? Let's have a quick chat, or a quick check anyway, in here. And well, best place to start then is with the man that won the entire evening, I suppose. Bart Delman joins me in the booth. I'll turn everything down a bit because everything's a little bit loud in here at the moment. It's getting to my head. Bart, that was a really strong performance from you, mate. You didn't seem to get challenged very much over that one. You might be quite happy.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I was very fast the whole week in practice. I think I was at a point 4 tenths faster in my hot laps. I was like, yeah, maybe it's possible, but yeah, in the race evening, it's always different. It's always other circumstances, and you also have to deal with the pressure. But today, I knew in Heat 1 I had to do, if I wanted to win the feature, because that was the goal, I had to go behind, in front of Falcon and try to take the pole for the feature. And I was just waiting for him to make a mistake. And luckily, he made one, and yeah, I did a pass on the outside of turn one. And the feature was actually, I was happy when Falcon passed Herbinho, because then I knew those guys are going to fight, and I have clean air, so it went well today for me.
Yeah, the clean air seems to definitely be your friend at the front of that pack. You put on a great performance and you were flying away. But to be honest, mate, it was just great to see that, you know, there was a lot of great battling behind you, but like I say, it just seemed like a very, very clean race for you. To be honest, we've got a fantastic circuit ahead of us next time round. In 2 weeks' time, we go to Montreal. What are you feeling about going there? Because it's not as easy to break away there. It's a very narrow track, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very narrow track, but I like the track a lot, and I drove a lot with it. But it was with the GT3 cars. But I liked it very, very much there. I know it from all the F1 games. So I know the track very well, and I hope to perform as good as I did this evening. So the job is not done. The goal is the championship, and today was a crucial round. All the big three, like I said, because Falcon, Walstra, and Arbio are my favorites to win it. But I'm very glad that I took one today, and moving forward, I hope I can keep fighting with these guys.
I'm sure you will be. I'm sure you will be, mate. Your pace has been fantastic. And of course, the series has been a huge success so far. I've just been saying all night how much I'm loving this format. It's so exciting to watch. And to be honest, I'm taking a few hints from it for my series as well, because heat racing seems to definitely be the way forward. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think it puts a lot of excitement in the evening. And in the beginning, people were skeptic about it, but after I think everyone saw that the racing is exciting, and a lot of the guys who are fighting for P8 also said to me, "Yeah, it's amazing to have to fight to get in that feature. It gives a whole a new dimension on a race evening."
It certainly does, and you only have to pay for one session as well. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's very cheap, very cheap.
Good bang for your buck. Well, very well done tonight, Bart. That was a fantastic drive. Anyone you want to give a shout out to before you go?
Yeah, I want to thank my girlfriend, because I had vacation today, this week, and I did nothing in the hospital except iRacing. So for this evening, and she put up with it. So I want to thank her this week.
Fantastic stuff. Well, good to speak to you as always, Bart. Well done, and we'll see you at Montreal.
Yeah, see you in Montreal, mate.
Cheers. And the man that gained a couple of places, or a place at the end, a very important one there after the incidents, was Ross Nicholson, who joins me in the box. Ross, good evening, mate. You must be quite pleased to grab a podium in the end there.
Yeah, really happy with it. I knew I didn't have the pace on merit tonight to stick with the top guys, and with Tom having his issues at the start, I knew it was just a road to the finish to try and just stay close enough. I could see Christopher and Falcon were fighting really hard with each other, and I sort of just wanted to make sure I was there if something happened. And it did. I I didn't get to see what happened to him, Christopher going off, but managed to catch back up, and then I assume he spun. So yeah, when I went past him, it was a nice feeling to pick up a podium.
I can imagine as well, and you know what these guys are like. I mean, you're one of them as well, where you're always all so consistent that any little edge that you can get on any of your rivals is just such a massive thing in this championship, isn't it? Even if it's just one extra position.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the Drivers' Championship, it's going to be super close between a lot of the guys. I think there's probably about five, six guys that can turn up and potentially win the race. So it's going to be super tight. And yeah, any one position can mean everything. So just to pick up even 5th to 4th or something can mean quite a big change in the championship. So not making the mistakes as well, pushing to the limit that you feel that you can push to. There is a very fine line, especially on a track like this. So yeah, hats off to Bart as well, because Bart he was on another level tonight. He's been super quick through practice. He's been the benchmark all week. I know he's put the effort in, so yeah, congrats to him.
Yeah, he really did fly, didn't he, this evening? But you and your teammate as well, both doing very well. Brian Loynes following you through that race and gaining some good points as well. How is the whole team feeling about going forward this season?
Yeah, really happy. I know we've got a couple, Greg and Danny joined us for this year on the academy team. They really enjoy it. They're getting a little bit frustrated not going quicker, but I think they're slowly realising it's just laps after laps. But they're really enjoying it. I know Paul's really happy. Myself and Brian are really happy at the moment. Both doing really well. So yeah, it's a great league to be a part of.
Well, I'm really glad you boys are enjoying it. It's been great to watch, mate. And before I let you go, do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Yeah, just want to shout out to Sim Racersworld for the league and putting everything on for us. It's run really well. Yourself for the great commentary.
Thank you.
I look forward to looking back to it tomorrow at work. And to Paul at Sim Stickers, he helps out massively with a lot of things. He spends a lot of time outside of sim racing as well, helping with just general PC issues. If you're on and he's not, he literally drops everything and he's on the phone to you helping. So yeah, big thanks to him. And yeah, just big thanks to everyone involved, all the drivers as well, because this season's been super fun.
Yeah, it seems like it's been a really good fight so far, and of course plenty of time to go. But good to speak to you, Ross. Thank you very much, and we will see you at Montreal in 2 weeks' time.
You sure will. Take it easy.
Cheers. And someone that I wanted to drag in that always seemed to be in the wars in that one, but managed to secure a top 10 at the end of the night. Matt Forrest. Now, you've actually set your name on Discord to Matt Forrest, and that answers a big question for me, because I didn't know whether you wanted to be called Matt or Matthew, so I'll go with that.
Matt will be fine.
Talk me through the evening, though, mate. You must be absolutely sweating buckets after that.
Oh, I am absolutely sweating. Oh, God. I made a decision at the beginning. I'd spoken to Bart earlier in the day because I'd picked up a penalty from the last race. And I decided to start without qualifying. I was going to start at the back. And I thought I'd just made it into the final race first time. But Seb just picked me with a lap to go. But luckily, I mean, in the consolidation race, I was at the front, so it was a bit of an easy ride for me at that point.
Yeah, I was going to say the consolation race. You just drove away with it in that one. I mean, you had the pace over the guys in the class above you as well. Were you expecting to be able to do that with what looked like a lot of ease? I mean, I know you were pushing very hard, but from the outside, it looked very easy.
In the consolidation race, it was fairly easy. Just maintaining that gap. I've done a lot of laps in practice this week, and it really paid off. Following some of the faster guys round, and it helped. And then hoping for a little bit higher in the final race, but I made a slight mistake going into, I think it's turn 4, going down the hill. I just guy in front of his hands just braked just a little bit before me, and I just had nowhere to go, so I just did a run off and ended up at the back of the grid, but just went my way through.
Well, that's it. A lot of the position gaining in these races seems to be just survival recently, because while there's not like huge pile-ups or silly accidents in one big go, it just seems to be a couple of guys just pushing the limits at the start of the race, doesn't it? And they just drop off one by one.
Yeah, I think that's racing, isn't it? At this level,
yeah.
It's all part of the fun, to be honest. And it's always been good competition, to be honest. First year in it, virtual racing compound. Chris had an unfortunate race tonight.
Yeah.
But he'll come back next week. He's still top of the academy division.
Yeah, well, it's certainly looking good for you guys at this point. You've shown that you've got the pace in your respective classes, and you're not scared to make the moves, and you're still playing it safe to the point where you get points week in, week out. So hopefully it continues to go well for you. But before we let you go, Matt, do you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Just to the rest of the VRC team who I know are watching, and hopefully the rest of the team will start racing in this in a couple of seasons.
Cracking stuff. Well, good to speak to you, Matt. Thank you very much for jumping in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Montreal.
Cheers.
Matt Forrest there of Virtual Racing Compound. Sound guy, and now I know that he wants to be called Matt rather than Matthew, so we'll go with that. But what a fantastic evening we've had. Bart Daleman takes your feature race win after a fantastic night of racing here at Donington Park. And as I've said, 2 weeks' time we'll be back at Montreal. Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve, one of my favourite circuits in the world. And in Formula 3 cars, as we've seen so far in this championship, there is no circuit that doesn't suit these machines. I've been your host, Chaz Draycott. This has been Sim Racers World TV and the Sim Stickers Sim Racers World Formula 3 series. Thank you very much for watching and have yourselves a fantastic evening. Let's turn it up because this is a banger. I'll leave you with this whole song as an outro, but good night everyone. Thank you very much, Kevin. Glad you appreciate the commentary, mate.
Took one look and now you stare at me the same. It took one look but you play me like a game.